31% of retirees report that they're struggling with a lack of purpose. And that's just the people who report it. I'm gonna go out on a limb and claim that the number is a little higher than that. In this video, I'll share 5 tips on how you can find more meaning and purpose during retirement. Plus, I'll dive into why it's so crucial to find your purpose as your friendly nudge to get going. So stay till the end. In case you're new here, I'm Cyn Meyer, a life coach for older adults, and I created Second Wind Movement in 2017 because I was seeing the same story over and over again among retirees and older adults. Society leads us to the belief that life happens in just 3 clean stages: education, work, family, and then leisure. But this is totally outdated. Your retirement is not like the retirement your parents and grandparents had, and today in modern life, with longer lifespans and more options, the reality is that retirement is not all about living a life of just leisure. Working, and then stopping from 60 to 0 is a complete shock to your system. The modern lifespan looks more like this, and it's only going to get more intermingled. There's so much more potential that's being untapped for specifically older adults. If you're nearing retirement age or if you're already retired, finding your purpose is more important than ever. A growing body of research is proving that purpose is a significant asset in life. Researchers examined how purpose in the lives of older adults impacts your health. People who scored higher for purpose had 24% lower likelihood of becoming physically inactive, 33% lower chance of developing sleep problems, and they were 22% less likely to develop unhealthy body mass index. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The benefits definitely don't stop there. Leading a purposeful life also means lower feelings of loneliness, more engagement in healthy behaviors, better outcomes when it comes to diabetes and stroke recovery, stronger physical functions like more grip, strength, and walking abilities, protection against cognitive decline, longevity, and your happiness. Hopefully, these are enough benefits to convince you that your post-career purpose is definitely worth discovering. And here is how. Starting with number 1, connect with your authentic self. I strongly urge you to spend time getting to know yourself, your values, and what's important to you. I hear all the time, Cyn, at this age, I know myself super well. And don't get me wrong, as an older adult with over a handful of decades under your belt, you probably already know yourself quite well. What's key for pre-retirees and retirees, though, is opening up to new growth, a more authentic connection with yourself, and almost like a reinvented version of you in this specific new life phase. It's not reasonable to attach yourself to your past career identity, for example, and live the next third of your life out of your career. We humans are designed to grow and change and develop at every life stage, and retirement is no different. And in fact, it's more critical during retirement because of the stats that I mentioned earlier, and because you no longer have the pressure of a career and a family life structure. So in this current life phase, consider these self-reflection questions as a way to get to know your most authentic self, which is your best self during retirement. What are the things that make you who you are? And how would they change if you weren't a mother, a father, a child, an employee? What are the things that are most important to you, and what would you do if things like money and fear were not standing in your way? What do you want your life to stand for? These are just some of the questions worth contemplating. We also recommend downloading our free workbook on finding clarity, which is linked in the description below this video. Either way, no matter how you go about it, the more time, energy, and effort that you invest in this process and finding clarity, the more satisfied and aligned your life will be. And after you dig deep, it'll be easier to, number 2, recognize and share your unique gifts. Everyone has talents and strengths that make them super unique and special. And when it comes to your purpose in retirement, it's less about finding some monumental new thing to do with your life and more about recognizing and sharing with others the unique gifts that you're blessed with. You have a natural fire that's drawn to certain things, and this goes well beyond the skills and experience that you've acquired throughout your career and your family life. Take, for instance, successful Rewire My Retirement student Chris Palmer. While he certainly polished his creativity throughout his career as a filmmaker, a professor, and an author, during retirement, he discovered new creative passions that fueled his retirement purpose. Chris has published books on new topics that align with his new life phase and wisdom, like his most recent work, Finding Meaning and Success. He learned how to play the piano to teach his grandchildren new skills at his home-hosted grandparent camp. He's taken dance lessons as a way to prioritize and deepen his marriage. And he's done a lot more than this list to connect with himself more deeply and to share his unique gifts with the world. But just some examples to find your purpose in retirement and to encourage you to be open-minded and actually go through the process of self-discovery. I can't tell you how many times when you do this full-hearted, how it reveals new ways of sharing and expressing your unique gifts with the world that you just don't expect. You can also shift and broaden your perspective by asking family and friends for input about your natural strengths and passions that go beyond your career and past roles. They may see things in you that you don't see yourself, and their answers could also inspire your next step, which is to number 3, explore and deepen your relationships. Examining your past, current, and potential relationships can also be the missing puzzle piece of finding your purpose in retirement. Some questions to ponder as you reflect on your connections, past and present. Which people in your life energize you or drain you, and why? Are they supportive and encouraging of your growth, or do they constantly judge and bring you down? Do you enjoy spending time with them, or do you feel obligated and then exhausted after being around them? Whose lifestyle do you admire or want to emulate, and why? It's a total game changer when you surround yourself with people who lift you up, encourage your change, and ultimately make you a better version of yourself. These are the people I like to call in your circle of influence, who encourage your growth, hold you accountable for positive changes, and they support you through tough challenges. When you find your circle of influence, a place where you can really be yourself and where you feel at home, you'll naturally be led to honing skills and developing interests inside a purposeful life, as opposed to people in your circle of concern who do the opposite. So it's worth being totally clear and upfront about your goals and desires and understanding of who supports versus holds you back, whether it's directly or indirectly, your purpose during retirement. And now you're ready to dig into your passions. Passions are a fundamental part of your purpose, but they're not synonymous and they can't be used interchangeably. My favorite distinction is passions are for you and purpose is for others. And of course, the two go hand in hand. The more fulfillment you get from what you do, the more likely you are to feel like your life has meaning and purpose. Plus, following your passions in life doesn't just make you happier and more fulfilled, it can also help you find your purpose. So when you're passionate about something, it's easier to see how that passion can be woven into your life's purpose, because both are energizing versus draining. And I'm a huge advocate of energy over everything. When you know what makes your heart sing, what lights you up, and you know that it's a reflection of your authentic self, everything falls into place and your energy becomes so much more aligned. So start by exploring what naturally gives you the most energy and excitement and what naturally makes you the happiest. So these are your passions, and chances are those passions will point the way. On that note of purpose being for others, you can also help yourself by helping others. When we think about our lives, most of us want to feel like we've made a difference, that we've done something with our time on earth and that actually mattered. And oftentimes, helping others is what gives our life meaning. Researchers have found that we're born with an innate desire to be helpful. Even hungry infants are willing to altruistically share their food with other babies. We're simply wired for connection. When you help someone else, it makes you feel like you're part of something larger than yourself, which is absolutely true, something that matters to all of humanity. And retirement is a great time to focus on the legacy that you want to leave behind, whether it's impacting one person's life or millions. So ask yourself, how do you want to be remembered and what impact do you want to make on this earth? There's no limit, big or small, to the difference that you can make by helping other people, specifically during retirement, because it's likely going to take on a totally different format in this phase than in your previous phases. The one common thread among all of our 5 tips today is that you got to go inward for the answers. You already have all the answers within you. They're just yearning to get out. You just need the process, the right process, and consistent focus to help it surface. To help you on your journey, here's a recap on how to find your post-career purpose. Number 1, connect with your authentic self. Number 2, recognize and share your unique gifts. Explore and deepen your relationships, dig into your passions, and finally help yourself by helping others. If you want your purpose and passions to flow out, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips and drop a comment below and tell us what you think. Your feedback helps us do our job better, and it helps this growing community of older adults who are striving to be their best. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next video.